There's been a lot of conversation in our culture and on Christian social media lately about the existence of aliens. Since the government has had these sessions on UAPs and government programs to explore the potential for extraterrestrial life, and since many scientists are now saying that they believe there's almost a 100% chance certainty that there is life elsewhere in the universe, many conservative Christians have responded by saying, if alien life exists, it must be demonic. And this to me is insanity, because it fundamentally undermines God's creative potential. One of the most foundational beliefs in both Judaism and Christianity is that God is an infinite and eternal creator. And if God is an infinite and eternal creator, then it makes sense that God did not just create human beings and the creatures on our earth and this planet and this universe and stop there. And science suggests that we live in an ever-expanding universe, and we now know that there are millions of galaxies and billions of planets all throughout the universe. And the likelihood, logically, scientifically, and I believe theologically, that other sentient life exists is certain. But why do Christians feel the need to demonize that which they don't understand? This has been a problem for Christianity since its inception. Think back to the days of Galileo, when the Roman Catholic Church branded him a heretic and discarded all of his scientific discovery because it undermined their worldview, only to find out a few hundred years later that Galileo was indeed right and the church had to expand its understanding. Human knowledge continues to grow. Our understanding of the universe continues to expand. We now have technology that allows us to go farther and see further in the universe than we ever have before. And so there are going to be numbers of discoveries that undermine what we once thought to be true. But that doesn't need to be a threat to our faith. Instead, we need to take the view that God is big enough, God is creative enough, God is mysterious enough, and humans are finite enough to not even be able to conceive all of the wonders that God has created throughout the universe. Now, there are some interesting theological questions that come up if we find out that sentient life exists on other planets. Christians ask, does this mean that Jesus is the savior of those people too? I think potentially, but it's also potential that those other creations didn't fall into sin. It's possible that there's another plan for redemption or another way redemption was manifest in their worlds or in their galaxies. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. But those questions and those unknowns need not undermine our faith, nor should they undermine our willingness to stand in wide-eyed wonder and awe at the bigness and beauty and the possibilities that exist within our universe. So I think, as a Christian, alien life probably exists. And I think we will probably discover some sort of sentient life sometime in the next century. And when that happens, Christians don't need to be afraid. We don't need to demonize. Instead, this should inspire us and encourage our faith. We get a chance to explore God's creation and understand more of God's character, God's nature, God's potential by gazing on other creations that our minds have never conceived of before. So don't be afraid of the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Don't be afraid that aliens might exist, because it just points to God being infinite, eternal, creative, and expansive, and we've always known that to be true about our God.